Welcome to Still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project. I'm Norm.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Laura.
Hello, Laura.
Hi.
And I'm Simone.
And we have Simone floating, I think, over there.
There she is. Wait, where is she floating in our frame?
I think she's
up there?
more that direction.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Simone.
Oh, I wish I was there.
Oh, yeah.
We wish you were here too.
Not that I feel bad. I'm at my sister's house and I'm like, oh my God, I just really want to be in San Francisco and I feel like a terrible sister.
Well, let's first introduce our guest, Laura. You're here. You're a friend of Simone's, and your paths literally crossed as you happen to be in San Francisco leading up to Maker Faire this weekend.
Yes.
But people may know your work from your videos you put on YouTube and from one of the collaborations you did with Simone.
Yes.
So tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I make videos on YouTube. I've been doing that for 1.5 years now. And as it turns out, that's a lot more fun than doing client work. So I focus on that.
And your videos are amazing. Without knowing that you were a friend of Simone's, I tweeted one of your videos because I watched the whole thing and found it super inspiring. You made this beautiful benchtop bench.
Yeah, thank you.
The video itself, the build was gorgeous, and I want one. But the video itself also was really peaceful and meditative. And I watched hundreds of hours of build videos a year, people hand screwing things in real time without any editing. And so finding really wonderfully produced content is rare. And I was so glad to find out that you were a friend of Simone's.
Yeah, thank you. Well,
to me, it's like I watch Laura's videos when I feel that everything is wrong in the world and I just want to feel like everything is the way it should be.
Well, it's why we make, right? Because we can have total control over these 3 or 4 square feet in front of us on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. I try to make the videos the way I see the materials and I see the tools. So that's what I think about when filming them, is to find the thing that's right now interesting to me. Is it, the wood it has this nice figure, or just the tool that is new to me? So that's what I try to keep in mind when filming, and apparently I'm better at explaining and expressing myself via video than just talking about it. So I'm really happy that I found YouTube and that I found Simone.
That YouTube found you. Yeah, it's a kind of funny story how we met, because I was doing a tour through Europe and Cologne was just like the stop where I was going to be on 2 TV shows, but I was there for 4 days and was just like, what the heck am I supposed to do with myself? And it was at the end of a long trip. And I was just like, really, like, you get tired of just walking around alone in a city. And I think I posted on Instagram that I was there, and somebody was just like, oh, you should hang out with Laura. And I just sent you, or I just wrote you on some platform and you invited me to your workshop.
Yeah.
And that was also when Donald Trump happened to win the US presidency. So we were like, both pretty fired up about it and just like kind of really upset, and felt that we wanted to do something, and had the idea for the pussy grabs back machine, which we just whipped out in like an afternoon.
Yeah, that was funny because we met in the morning and just to grab a coffee, and I wanted to show you Cologne and try to make, I don't know, something nice that day because we were pretty sad about the whole Trump situation. And we were actually in the cathedral when we thought, we could probably build this pussy grabs back machine with a mouse trap. And
in a cathedral, you came up with this.
In the Cologne Cathedral. This. Yeah, it was really, it was a really cool moment. Yeah.
It was very divine. It was very divine. We were like, oh, we need a strap-on harness and a fisting.
I know a place where we can get a rubber hand.
Rubber hand? You brought her.
Yeah, it was all cathedral.
Yeah. It was a good moment.
I really, like I said, I watched hundreds of hours of build videos every year, and even the bad ones, especially the bad ones, I find they're not bad because I'm enjoying watching somebody get something done. It's almost like the costumes that I find at Comic-Con that are really inspiring. Certainly the ones that take months of effort and huge amounts of ingenuity and great craft. But I also love the ones that it's like someone just took duct tape and put it on a t-shirt that morning because they just wanted to play.
Yeah, yeah.
So to me, the idea that YouTube and other platforms like that provide this forum for collaborations to occur, for people to find each other.
Yeah.
Because, when you see someone make something, you understand so much more about them. It's like... weirdly, to quote one of the other Matrix films besides the first one, when the guy says to Neo, the only way to understand someone is to fight them.
Seraph, the character.
Yes. I think I learned so much about a person just by watching how they move through a build. And I'm sure you've both had this experience. I can see somebody who has no experience building, and I can watch them put something together, and I know exactly how much I can teach them.
Yeah.
Almost instantly.
Yeah, and I also think the initial move to go on YouTube to make the decision and, I don't know, get naked on a table, basically, and let everybody judge you, like that decision also, I don't know, puts you in the same mindset or is something that we can relate to. You know, if you ever uploaded a video to YouTube, and it doesn't matter if that other maker that you're talking to, if it's a good video or not, but it was the same decision, and it's the same, you know, oh, okay, I'm going to do this, uploads, and you instantly have something in common.
You're putting yourself out there. You're vulnerable.
Yeah, you're
exactly.
you're actually going back through the whole thing you recorded and going, do I stand by every bit and piece of this?
Yep.
And it is that math that I'm doing every time I'm building something here, every time we're filming something, every time we're talking about it. In fact, years later, people will come up to me and talk about a video, and I won't remember having said something I said in the video. And I'm like, I'm really glad I still agree with that.
Videos are documents of record.
Yeah.
And even though we can't search through them and parse through them, and they're produced differently than writing 1,000 words in an article, it is the same thing. It's a really interesting topic because the three of you guys make videos all differently, with different production processes and been doing it for different amounts of times. Like we've been making videos, one day builds with Adam for years now. We've developed a workflow, and we have the support of an editor and a shooter.
And we've developed a language. We've understood, like Joey and I have talked extensively about how much silence to put in the videos. And both of us have improved and deepened our understanding of the kind of narratives we're interested in telling just in the process of collaborating. And I know that you guys have gone through probably a similar process.
Yeah.
I remember that when we filmed our Pussy Grabs Back video for your channel, Laura, that you were like, oh, like, I never talk in my videos. And I was like, we have to have some sort of intro. To me, that was just like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And like when I see your videos, of course, they're just like these beautiful montages. And I feel terrible because I'm like, I never film the build process. I film everything with my iPhone, and everything I touch looks like shit.
Is that true?
And so it's about like what's the story you want to tell? Like you're going to get different types of enjoyment from watching Simone's video versus one of your videos.
Yeah.
It's all about the same like variants of a process. But I mean, a lot of people I think out there who want to start making videos for YouTube or different platforms and show the things they're making have to go through the same steps.
Well, and I love Simone's videos and I love your videos, Laura, and it wouldn't occur to me to try and imitate them, right? Like there's this, and it's not even like I'm trying to hit a certain style. I have a rhythm with the folks that I work with, and you guys do too. And I know that having traveled around the country with Michael Stevens from Vsauce, there's a lot of teenagers, and I'm sure you get this, who ask questions of him because it's clear in their mind they're thinking, oh man, making videos for YouTube has to be the easiest lifestyle there is. And the answer is, holy hell, it is a tremendous, gargantuan volume of work. And when you want to do it right, and when you want to do it with quality, it's like it takes everything you have.
Absolutely. And I think it's very important. Oh, sorry, Simone. You go.
Go for it. You go for it.
I think it's very important to find your own style, because it would be even more work if you wanted to copy somebody. If I wanted to copy Simone's videos or the one-day builds, this would take me like probably 200% of the time that it takes me to make my own videos. So I'm very fluent in my own language, but to copy somebody else's language is even more work. So it's not even possible.
Yeah.
I think that my biggest struggle with YouTube is like the constant, I feel like all social media platforms are like a Tamagotchi, and they just die if you don't feed them. And like now when I'm shooting a TV show in Sweden and I can't, like, I just don't have the time to make videos for YouTube, I feel so bad. It feels like constantly in the back of my head, I can hear it screaming. And it's just like,
So I feel when I come in here, like I came in on Monday and we weren't filming anything. And I just built 2 things in about 4 hours just to kind of like get my hands working. And I didn't film them, and I felt guilty. Right.
And I walked in and I knew that you felt guilty, and that's why I didn't mention it at all, because I know you don't need that right now. You don't need us to bring in a camera crew in this moment and coming recently back into your shop. You just needed to build.
But at the same time, you know, it's like I'm fully cognizant that I could probably grow my Twitter followers at a much higher pace with a different level of engagement with that platform. And yet the engagement's what it is. I mean, I love the fact that Michael Stevens only produces like 8 videos a year. You know, that he's found a rhythm for that. So I fully know what you mean about feeling like the creeping tide of like you want to keep producing those videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also when you get lured into putting out stuff that you don't really like yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I don't want to water it down with making like, oh, this is what I have for breakfast type videos or whatever. Like, I want to keep a certain standard, and you can't, I mean, a standard, that's my standard, which is terrible, but still, like, you want to stick to that. And it's really hard to do that when other things happen in your life and you have other things taking your time.
Yeah, for sure.
We've filmed videos for Tested that we've ended up scrapping.
Yep, absolutely.
Like we filmed the one wheel stop video for a couple of hours, and then we got back, and a few days later we were like, let's just
and it felt great in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's okay to throw things away.
Yeah.
It's
Do
okay.
you do that too?
Yeah, sometimes I start videos and then I scrap them in the middle of the project. I feel like that or at least it's my experience, if I'm not super excited about it, and if I go to bed having trouble falling asleep and thinking about, you know, there was maybe the wrong material, or it was the wrong story, I told it wrong, then it bothers me to a point where I cannot, I don't know, sleep or enjoy the rest of my life. So I have to change it. I have to start new again. So that's, I scrapped a lot of videos, at least the beginnings.
Yep.
Yeah.
We scrapped a video too, Norm, that we started filming.
Oh, yeah.
This was the cringiest. Yeah.
Are you not allowed to talk about it?
So I did a butt wiping robot. And when I filmed it, I'm like, there's no way I can have anything like Nutella or something in it that's like poop.
And I said, let's bring in, we can show Nutella and peanut butter.
Try it. Like, we should have something that it can like actually wipe off. And in the midst of standing and smearing like some chocolate pudding into this like mannequin man's butt, Norm and I just like looked at each other and we're like, there was a good reason I did not do this from the start.
Yeah.
This is a big argument that Jamie and I had on Mythbusters at one point when we were doing the episode Shit Hitting the Fan.
Yeah.
We had to come up with a poop analog. So we got dog poop, and Jamie did this wonderful sequence where he examined the material properties of poop, how sticky it was, how soft it was, and he replicated that with some grains and some flour and some sugars and some water, etc. And my thing from a producing standpoint was it has to be blue. It has to be clear that it's not poop. And Jamie was like, no, I want it to be brown. And more than that, I want to eat it on camera. And I was like, there's no way you're going to be allowed to eat shit on camera. Even if just think about the person clicking through the dial, getting to that point where you're like eating a turd and laughing at that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People can't take that. You can't subject people to that.
No. That's true.
It's not a teenage raunch comedy. I mean, there's so much that you're not beholden to when you're making content for YouTube. Like, it's our own schedules. You know, I know people always ask, when's the next one day build? And we're always thinking about it if not shooting it. And it's not, but it's not the same as when you had to shoot, you know, for Mythbusters, for a TV show, and what you're doing now, Simone, for a TV show, like a certain number of shoot days, and there's more freedom to YouTube.
The freedom is an interesting and tricky word to use because I'm a big believer that deadlines and all great art comes about because of the restrictions placed upon us. Yeah. I'm sure we all have experience with the open-ended project that never happens because you just keep on trying to make it perfect and you don't have a deadline. So I love the restrictions of television, the 44 or 22 minute, the act breaks, the trying to build a narrative through the pieces of it. And I also love the freedom of YouTube of again, these alternate channels. But again, it's not a total freedom. I still want to tell a compelling story.
Yeah.
And for us, we've found that key time is somewhere between 25 and 45 minutes.
Yep.
But that can go longer and that can go shorter. Do you find, Laura, that there's a specific amount of time that you try and hit, or is it different every time?
It's usually between 5 and 7 minutes. Because I try to make videos that I would consume myself, like that would teach me personally. That's why I don't talk, because I don't listen.
Yeah.
So I try to make my own experiments and my own experiences. So those videos, usually it's 4 to 7 minutes depending on what I'm doing. And I think I experimented with super short content. I made 10-second videos and 60-second videos.
Oh.
And that is super interesting as well. And I think the interesting part about it is that it depends on the quality of the idea. A really good idea can be told in 10 seconds. And if the idea needs a bit more explanation, you need more time to talk about it.
Yes.
So and usually the builds that I do, it's not about having the perfect idea. Like your stuff that you do, Simone, those ideas are, it's not a good idea via definition, but those ideas are so precise, you can tell them in those couple second GIFs or GIFs. I still don't know.
Yeah. GIF. It's pronounced GIF.
So that's why they work so well in just a couple frames. It depends on the quality of the idea, not judging the good or bad.
Now, I know that all of us engage in social media and get a lot of feedback from fans, but let's talk about YouTube comments specifically, which in the US can be a cesspool of just the worst stuff. And I say that as a white man who has an exponentially lower amount of that garbage than you guys might experience. Are YouTube comments just as bad in Europe? Or is that a U.S. phenomenon?
I think that it's the shared pool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that you can gateway that, say,
No,
I just
probably
want the
not.
European comments.
No, but thinking about it, I think I have less offensive comments in German.
Do you read
we
them?
are not.
Do you-
I
you
read
do?
all of them. I try to answer most of them, at least on the first day. Of course, it hits you. You know, if you get a bad comment, it's not the best thing, especially because of the time difference. I have a different sleeping rhythm since I
Sure.
started YouTube, and I wake up at night 2 or 3 times because all the important stuff happens at night. I get the interesting emails and I get the feedback on my videos. So I wake up and then you lie in bed and you read these comments and it really hits you.
See, early
Bad
on
habits.
And Simone, you were telling me that after Pussy Grabs Back, you were really kind of shocked by the response.
I wasn't so shocked, but it was definitely, things got a lot harsher. But that's as soon as you express any opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if I in any way voice, like, that I'm a feminist or that I'm a vegetarian, people are like, stop rubbing it in our faces. And you're like, I've made like 100 videos. I've never mentioned it before. But I think to me, like the worst experiences that I've had, but they're so detached and like unpersonal, are when you get a video that trends on YouTube. Because as long as it's just like the community of subscribers, it's like a pretty nice tone. But if you have something that hits the front page of YouTube, then like the horde of like horror comments comes in and you're like, oh, like it's a video of me locking myself in a bathroom for 48 hours. Like, and people are just like, oh my God, how dare you do this, woman? You're a whore. And I'm like, I don't really see the connection. It's a bit of a stretch for me, but thanks for passing by.
It's so frustrating because it's just, you cannot defend yourself and you should not defend yourself.
You shouldn't have to. Yeah.
I also found early on in Mythbusters, I was reading a forum commentary about the show when someone brought up my use of the word actually, a word that I am definitely guilty of overusing. But this comment drove it home in this way that like I've never been able to say that word since without thinking about that effing comment.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't read that stuff because to me, I need to not have that dialogue with some randos in my head. If I'm going to be honest about the output, I want to not have it be sullied by that. I read all the tested comments because our tested community is really, even when we disagree, incredibly well-spoken and civil. And that's really important.
I think that's too, like, to me, like, what I've come to realize is that I care about the comments from the people that like what I do, and not so much of the comments of people who don't like what I do, because it's like, oh, you don't like it, just like don't watch it.
Yeah.
But for example, on like my Patreon page, there I like really try and listen to what they want to see and what they like and what they don't like, because it's like, oh, these are people who actually are into what you do and who want to see it grow and do well, and who don't just want to push you down.
Right.
Yeah.
In many cases, those people aren't. There's no way to show that they are actual subscriber or they actually watch the video. I mean,
true.
people troll. That's the definition of trolling, right? They just go and post the comment, even if they have not actually connected with it.
And the real question as a creator is this comment geared to help me?
Yeah.
Or is it just to, you know, put me down or to make me stop doing what I'm doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I also, especially those negative comments, I always think if you have a problem with a girl working in a shop, you know, that says so much more about you than it says about me, you know, because I just showed you my video, like that's just the work that I do, and you being offended by this, I don't know, there's nothing I can do about it.
No, there's nothing.
But I
you can do
can't
about that.
picture anything mean that anyone would ever comment on one of your videos
Oh,
other than like
geez, I
complaining
can
about
show you
safety.
I will make some screenshots for you.
This ended up being a support group.
Well, I think it's important. Like, I brought it up specifically because it's out there and it's important to discuss. And it's important to me that whoever it is leaving these shitty comments, I know that people like find some empowerment for the lulls or whatever the reason that they're doing it is. And I think that there's a genuine harm that's being done on that front. And it's something that I feel like it's important to discuss.
And I think it's also beholden on those platforms, you know, Google, who runs YouTube, to make these places safer places.
Yes.
And it's not about censorship, but it's also about having policies for people who, when you sign up for an account, you are agreeing to the policies of the platform, and none of that's being enforced.
That's true. What bothers me the most, I think, is that I know that a lot of kids are watching my videos, which I think is the best. That's my favorite thing about it, and getting feedback from kids or parents who tell me that their 7-year-old daughter wants to have tools for Christmas. I mean, I could cry thinking about it. So, and that bothers me if those kids are watching my videos. I don't think they read the comment sections, but if they would that stop them from in the future maybe producing their own videos because they're afraid to get that feedback? You know?
Not only are they afraid to get that feedback, but I've certainly had the case of reading an article and thinking, I'm not sure how I feel about this article. Let me go read more into it. And by reading more into it, I'm going to go look at forums and I'm going to go look at discussions about that. So that's going to help inform the way that my opinion about this thing crystallizes as I understand it more deeply. So a kid watching your videos who sees a really negative comment as the top comment might be like, oh, well, clearly this is a bad thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a permission machine in the other sense. It feels like it gives people who may not know who they are yet permission to also be a troll, because they want to get those likes.
But let's go back to the lovely world of inspiring young girls and boys to pick up tools and make things. That is, having someone say that to me under any circumstances, you inspired me to build one thing for my house or to be an engineer. That full spectrum is the most humbling and amazing thing that can happen.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best. I can show you a picture later of a girl wearing a suit like you always do, and she has a little Laura Kampf patch, and she's holding a wrench and like a warrior next to her little bike. Oh, Jesus. That's crazy.
I think it's, to me, like, especially even though I like suppress liking having kids watch my videos because it's a constant battle with parents. I think it's always like when you have kids write you like that and like you're just like, I'm such a good person. That is all I can feel. I'm just like, wow, this is really amazing. I'm so good.
So recently on we'll take it where we can find it, Simone. I recently was on Twitter and someone suggested that I make a Saturday morning building show. And in America on Saturday mornings when I was growing up, we had cartoons and it was like specific television programming for waking up as a kid so that your parents could sleep in.
Yes.
And this doesn't really exist anymore. Like, you know, kids are watching all sorts of platforms, but I always appreciated that one of the reasons for Mythbusters' success is that we weren't talking down to children, but I do feel like there's a lot of fertile territory in maybe making some videos directed right towards kids. And I started making some notes about it because I get really excited about that idea of going right for that demographic.
For sure. I just filmed a TV show in Germany where we took kids to a junkyard and they had like 3 hours they had a challenge. You have to build a raft or soapbox car. They had to pick their stuff and then we took all the stuff back to my workshop and they had 3 hours in 2 teams to build their
While you were
things.
helping?
I was helping them and they were just, okay, we just need hot glue, we're fine. And no, you actually need, I can help you with that. And it was really interesting. And then they were doing a challenge against each other, which soapbox car is the fastest or which is the best build. And it was very interesting and it was very successful. It was only 4 episodes. But they're talking about to do another season of it because it was really successful. Yeah, with the kids.
That's awesome.
I love that show. I haven't even seen it, and I love that show.
It's in German, but I can send you a link.
You know, we have Maker Faire in the U.S. coming up, the flagship Bay Area Maker Faire. What is the Maker Faire equivalent over there? Are there Maker Fairs, and what are those conventions like?
Yeah, I've only been to one last year in Hanover, and it was interesting. I think the German mind in general needs to adapt a little bit more to the whole maker mindset? Yeah.
Mentality.
Mentality, exactly. Because we, if you want to be a carpenter, you go to, like, you do the bachelor thing in 3 years and then you do the master. So you do years and years and years of training.
Right.
And then you can do this one thing. And we are very, very proud of this degree of quality we have in our craftsmanship. But that is pretty much the opposite of the maker mind of, okay, I will try it. I will try different disciplines. I will just get my feet wet and go for it and not be afraid to fail and try it again if it doesn't work. So I think there's a bit of a different mindset there. Yeah. But we will get there at some point. And they are maker fairs and they're getting bigger and they're spreading out more. And I hope we get one in Cologne soon. So, yeah.
The mothership Maker Faire here in San Mateo this weekend is it's really inspiring. Yeah. It's inspiring to see all the things that people are making, but the sheer energy. I've been going there every year since its inception, and it feels like it's growing by like 50% every single year, and the energy just in the space of not just, wow, look at those amazing things that other people are doing, but also look at what I could do. And that's really the ethos, I think, is that it's not like, well, I don't want to talk about the materials I use because it's a proprietary process. Yes. It's all about sharing. And I mean, that's why we all make videos, is because we want to share because we got so much from watching what other people do.
Yeah. That's actually a comment I get a lot. Like, you shouldn't share all that. You should keep those secrets. You should try to get a patent for it. And like, no. I mean, the video is actually the final product, not the product itself. So I couldn't care less about the things that I built. They just float around somewhere. I keep them and sometimes I give them away, but it's not about that. It's about the video and it's about sharing and it's about learning from others and giving back. Because I watched so many videos.
You gave me one of your wire cutters.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, wire cutting stations. It's the most beautifully built thing I have.
Yeah, it was cool to see it again.
Do you get to build for yourself?
Yeah, Laura's staying at my house.
Yes, thank you so much again.
Yeah, because I'm not there and I feel bad about not being there, so you can stay at my house.
I posted a picture of Carl, your bathroom duck with the Q-tip sticking out of it that you built when you isolated yourself in your bathroom, and everybody knew what was going on. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're at Simone's."
So funny. Yeah.
What do you build for yourself if you weren't going to film it?
No, I mean, I do build for myself, but I don't need the product. I just need the build time.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. It is just that the point isn't the final object, which is a lovely byproduct.
But the thing is, I made it myself, and I can reproduce it if I want to. So the product itself doesn't mean that much. I could, if I really need it again, I could build it again. But I'm more interested in building something else that I haven't built. So yeah.
Building a
Wait,
skill.
you guys, isn't there? Yeah, I feel like recently there's been this like irony for me personally, where it's like the thing I did on YouTube, where it started off from building a lot of stuff, and the busier and busier I get, and the more it's grown, the less time I have to build.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I'm shooting a TV show, even though it's a build show, we have like a build team who make a lot of the machines and stuff like that. And it's like, today we built a Rube Goldberg machine, so I've been like roaming around with a glue gun. But other than that, it's like I have like no time to build stuff. And it really pains me because that's like at the core of why I love doing what I do.
Yeah.
Well, Simone, I'll tell you, while we were making Mythbusters full time, I got maybe 3 or 4 hours a week in this shop.
Oh, jeez.
That's about it. That was a good week. 3 or 4 hours a week was like a good week for me. So you've known me I've had more time in my shop in the last 18 months than I have in my whole previous life combined. Because we've just been able to be filming here. It's been absolutely luxurious. But again, that won't last. That'll change.
I think what Simone said actually it echoes not just for people who make things, but who make videos of any type of things. I know people like who, if you watch YouTube or watch Twitch, for people who play video games or build things or do any type of turning what they love into the content, like they have to turn off that streaming sometime and just do it for themselves, or else they'll stop enjoying it.
Yeah, for sure. That's what you did this week,
It's true.
right?
Yesterday, I finished this really, really exciting one-day build, which I just showed to Laura.
Yeah, it's good.
And we were all really excited about it. And I was so jazzed. I kind of wanted to keep on going and build something else. And I had to realize, like, you're not going to get it done by the end of the day. You're going to kill the mood that you're in. Just put the shop back together, chill out a little bit, and maybe make something for yourself off to the side.
Yeah, it's important to just have build time for yourself, because it's, at least for me, it's super different if I'm building just to build, just to be in the shop, or if I'm building to film, because I feel it's almost like doing boxing and playing chess at the same time. It's so different mindsets of working on your project and figuring out how you're going to tell the story and what shots you need and all that. It's like thinking about about two different things at the same time, and it's super exhausting.
Do you know that there's a sport called chess boxing?
Is it?
There is.
I might be really good at
in
this.
which the opponents box around and then play a speed round of chess, and then box
wow.
another round and play a speed round of chess.
And the strategy is you can be really good at one or the other. And so if you want to beat your opponent into submission, maybe they won't be so good at chess afterwards.
So Tom Sachs, a friend of Simone's and I, says that when he can't think of what to build, he makes boom boxes. He makes little stereos.
Oh, cool.
And it's like he's always made them. You saw on my desk, on my workbench, I've got a crow, a taxidermied raven. One of the things I do off camera, just for my own enjoyment, is I buy taxidermy crows and I remount them in different ways. And it's just like, because I love taxidermy crows. It's like this side hobby.
It's like a super special
It
interest.
is a very weird interest. But so what I'm wondering is, do you have a like a specific go-to project that's your kind of like get your oil back in your joints project?
I usually try to improve my shop and try to find something that I can make the background nicer, or build a new shelf, or try to figure out a new organizing system. That is what makes me very, very happy.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell by the way.
I realize it's about probably 15 to 20% of what I do in the shop is just infrastructure. Just figuring out a new place to put a shelf, or looking at that pile's been there for 3 months.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to make a shelf space for it.
And that's another cool aspect about YouTube, because with these videos, I get to share my shop, which is the heart of everything for me. Yeah. And if I'm just there selling my products or doing client work, they don't get to see the best part of it. I think.
Right.
So that's a very nice feature.
I also love looking at other people's shops on, like, you go to those carpentry websites or carpentry YouTubes where someone's got like 65 planes all in ornate cutouts on the wall. Like, I just get so,
So Laura, you're in town for a couple of weeks. What are the things that you want to do in the Bay Area in San Francisco?
I think there's a good flea market at the weekend in
Yes.
was it Oakland. Was it Oakland?
The Alameda.
Alameda.
That is
Yes.
a
Okay.
giant. Give yourself 3 hours.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to do that, and then hopefully we get to work together.
Yeah, we're gonna build something together. I'm
Sweet.
sorry, Simone. I'm gonna build something with
God.
Laura while you're gone.
She's ignoring us now. And yeah, for Maker Faire, I'm actually doing a panel talk on Saturday at 3, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and very excited for that. We're going to do a Autodesk tour,
Oh.
and we're going
Awesome.
to see the Shaper Place and Rockler and Lincoln, 2 of my sponsors. They're having events. So yeah, that's perfect.
awesome.
I'm pretty busy actually.
Yeah.
Which is perfect because usually on vacations I always get bored so quick, and now that I have this YouTube thing that keeps me busy
Great.
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I recommend the Exploratorium,
Oh yes.
one of the great science museums of the world. But one of my favorite things about it is they, like many museums, they build their exhibits in-house. Unlike many museums, their shop is actually visible in the main museum. You can watch people building stuff, and all the stuff in the museum is clearly built by people. They don't
Nice.
hyper polish it or make it so neat you can't understand how it was built. Its construction is part of the story that it tells.
Wow. Yes, I
Yes.
will check that out.
Yeah, we
One
know
of
some
my
people who
favorite
work there who
places.
can get us in. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Yeah, we know
Sweet.
people.
Yeah, you guys have fun.
We're just gonna keep on sending postcards to Simone. Hey,
Oh God. Please do. I miss all of you very much, and I have the worst FOMO.
Aw.
But yeah, I'm happy to see that you're hanging out. I like all of you very much.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good place I need to stop. Laura's gonna be around. It's like your first day here,
Yes.
so we'll be doing more stuff with you. Thanks for
Cool.
hanging out with us.
Thank you
Yes,
for having
welcome.
me, and thank you, Simone, for connecting us. This is
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
it's big.
Of course.
Cool.
Build something super cool in my honor.
will do. And if you, yeah, cool.
And if you guys are going to Maker Faire, Adam's going to be doing a talk on Sunday.
Sunday at noon.
So we'll hope to see you there. The whole Tested team will be there. So we'll see you at Maker Faire, and we'll have a lot of stuff from there.
All right.
Until then, bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Simone.
Bye.
See you.
I don't know.